I'm Luke.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Hope.
And I'm Cameron.
For our illustrator, we chose JerryPinkney. Pinkney is an African-American author and illustrator from Philadelphia. When Pinkney takes on a project, he is prominent about the projects that connect to his heritage and culture. Every project he starts with the same 3 questions of whether it's worth telling, is the story interesting to read, and will he, as the artist, learn something new? From this, he's able to illustrate not as a child would, but as he views it. And through this, he wants to try and connect to some person in every way.
We overall chose our favorite book, and that is The Lion and the Mouse here, which is the 2010 Caldecott winner. The Lion and the Mouse is a retelling of Aesop's fable, which is solely through pictures, this wordless manifestation of JerryPinkney. Pinkney illustrations are so beautifully done, and we all love how he chooses to give so much detail and focuses on showing expression through the animals to really tell the story. And I think a good teaching idea would be to use this book as an introduction to teaching about fables and their important messages that they tell. And we could have our students create their own wordless picture book and include an important lesson or morale. And that can really just spur on children's creative side and their imagination.
So for some other books that we decided to talk about, one was John Henry. And personally, I relate to this book a lot because it's about a man that's different than everybody else. He's much taller and bigger than everyone else, but he's still a human and he still is able to connect with everybody.
My favorite book was The Grasshopper and the Ants, a wonderful story about a charismatic grasshopper who's trying to get the ants to hang out and have fun with him throughout the seasons of the year. His efforts are consistently met by the ants having to work all the way until winter. During winter, the ants retreat inside to their home, leaving the grasshopper out in the cold. A few moments pass, and suddenly the queen ant invites him in for tea, and where they share music and laughs. As JerryPinkney states in his artist's note, the moral of the story is don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. And this is the reason I really enjoyed the book, because I personally struggle with procrastination, and I think it's a good lesson for kids to learn early on.
My favorite book was The Tortoise and the Hare, and I really liked this book because of the life lesson it had. The hare, who obviously was faster than the tortoise, who got complacent and was lazy, rather than the tortoise, who took his time and was slow on his path. And I just really liked that the lesson was to stay on top of things, get your stuff done, and just keep moving forward without any procrastination going on. And I think kids can really learn from this book. All right. The other books that we got into by JerryPinkney, one of them was Three Little Kittens, about the 3 little kittens who lost their mittens and had to find them so they were able to eat their pie, and then their mother made sure that they did everything that they could to stay clean and be happy.
And Back Home is relatable to a lot of people because this is about a little girl that had to move a lot and she never was able to feel comfortable where she was, but the only place she felt comfortable was when she went back home.
And Red Riding Hood is a classic tale about a little girl who visits her grandmother in the woods and kind of gets stopped on trail by a sly wolf who tricks her into doing some stuff and gets her into a sticky situation. And we also have The Ugly Duckling, another classic tale of a duckling who looks different than his siblings, and you could say is a little ugly, but in the end, just proves that he can do everything the others can, and like looks should not define who you are.
So for my last one, I talked about Noah's Ark, and this was one of the books that I chose because I love history, and it basically just shows you that if you take care of the earth and if you take care of the things that we can, then everything will be better.
The Hired Hand is a story about a father and son duo who work on a sawmill. They are struggling to produce their lumber and decide to hire a man who ends up having magical powers, making their lives a lot more interesting. It teaches the reader the powerful consequences that can come with actions without thinking.